So the program for today, first we will cover what the SRS is, followed by our colleagues from Health Promotion Board who will go through the user guide of the SRS, followed by the Q&A session. So what is the Swab registration system? It is an online system for employers to register for each employee's Swab appointments. It provides flexibility for firms to book appointment dates for employees. The timing will be automatically allocated by the system. Notification on each employee's Swab appointment date, venue, and time will be sent to employers by email and to employees by SMS after the appointment is made. All firms can access the system from 1st August onwards to register for Swab appointments starting on 3rd August onwards. So firms will be able to book 14 days in advance. Once an employee has attended the first appointment, the employee will be automatically scheduled for subsequent appointment, unless absent or suspected C+ or contraindication case. These employees will be removed from the SRS system. For missed appointments, employers need to go into the SRS to reschedule based on 2 days later. Employer will be able to view the appointments by the SRS, and please take note that your employee's access code may turn red if they do not meet the periodic swabbing requirement. So details on the SRS account creation. Only one SRS login account will be created per company UEN. There is also a requirement for unique SRS login email address for each company. What this means is, if you are in charge of 3 or 4 different companies, each SRS login email needs to be unique for each account. For the point of contact, it can be the same person. The same for the mobile number. Okay, firms will be able to select Swab appointment session for employees residing in COVID-cleared dormitories and non-dormitories. Non-dormitories will refer to HDBs, private residential properties, and commercial properties. For selection of regional screening centers, you will be able to choose for your employees residing in dormitories, CSC Changi, Changi South Wing, Cochrane Recreational Center, F1 Paddock Garage A, Penjuru RC, and Chusan RC. For your employees staying in non-dormitories, you can choose Changi Airport T4 Car Park, Home Team NS, F1 Paddock Garage B, The Float, and Marina Bay. There are also in-dormitory swabs, and this is only for respective dorm residents, such as in Westgate Juniper, Jurong Apartments, and Tampines Dorm. If your employee do not stay in these dormitories and you select them, your employees may be turned away at the gate. Also, please take note that employers must choose the right location allocated for dorm or non-dorm workers specified in front of each site description. So for firms with more than 280 PACs, the maximum number of employees per day that you will be able to book is the number of employees divided by 14. For firms with less than 280 PACs, the maximum employees per day is 20. So for example, if you have 420 employees on the system, you can book a maximum of 30 appointment slots each swab date. So if you look at case 1 below, the earliest slot that you will be able to book is 2 days later, and you can book for 30 employees all the way from, let's say, 3rd August until the last day, 16 August. If you have 70 employees, you can book a maximum of 20 appointment slots each swab date. So if you look at case 2A and case 2B, you can actually choose a different combination of how you want to send your employees for swab. For example, you can send 20 in day 3, 20 in day 6, 20 in day 10, and the last 10 on day 13. Or you can choose to send your workforce. You can choose to send 10 employees every alternate day. Okay, now I'll pass over the time to Health Promotion Board. Eugene, please, to cover the user guide.
Hi everyone, Eugene here from Health Promotion Board. Next slide, please. Right, for today's sharing, I'll be covering a few areas for the SRS swab registration system, how you can log in, how you can schedule appointments and cancel them, and then how you can add in new Singapore citizen or permanent resident, and then some basic troubleshooting to share with you. All right, for logging into SRS, you've provided your email address for BCA to create an account for you. So if you've already done that, you should have received an email with the password as well as the login address. So just click on the login address and key in the password that is provided in the email, and you will be able to log into the system. Once you click on the link, you will be able to see this screen. And they will, after you have keyed in your password, they will prompt you to key in a 6-digit OTP, which will be sent to your mobile phone. Once you've done that, they'll prompt you to change your password. So just proceed to do that. All right, once you have logged in the system, you'll be able to see a dashboard which shows all the workers under your company. And you can filter them based on the status to the top left corner. So there'll be a drop-down list. So to show an example, next slide. Yep. So if you have, for example, selected all, then all your records will be shown, and then you can actually filter according to whether they have attended an appointment, who has cancelled their appointment, who attended and who did not attend the appointment, and so on. So this is just an example if you have chosen scheduled. So all the workers under your company that have an appointment scheduled will be shown. All right, so do take note that at the bottom right corner of the screen, you will be able to see the quota that's been allocated to your company. So in this example, the quota for this particular company is 20 per day, 20 appointments per day, and the company has scheduled 1 appointment. So the appointment quota is based on the logic shared by BCA earlier. Next slide. Right, so the next section will be how you can make an appointment. For scheduling of individual appointment, you simply need to click on the schedule individual appointment function to the right. And once you've done that, you can proceed to the next screen, which allows you to select the appointment date and appointment site. So this will allow you to select the same date and venue for all the workers that you want to group together for the swab. And they need not be separated into different sites, as some of you might have experienced previously. So once you have selected the time, the date and the venue, they will prompt you to confirm the submission, and then you can proceed. Note that for employees who have been attended the swab previously and their mobile phone is already in the system, they will receive an SMS, which you can see to the right of the screen. So you'll show them the site, the date, as well as the time of the appointment. So this SMS will not be shown if that particular person has never gone down to the site and swapped, all right? Because their mobile phone is not in the system yet. Also, for those people who have shared mobile phone numbers, they will not receive this message as well, because we have incidents in the past whereby the message was sent out and then it was sent to somebody who did not have an appointment schedule. So for anybody who shares a mobile phone with others, we will not be sending out this SMS. I'd like to also highlight that the company admin is responsible to remind the workers to bring their photo ID, be it an NRIC, work permit, or driver's license, because they will need this when they register for the swab appointment, in addition to the SMS message as well. So if an appointment has been made, you will go back to the dashboard, you'll be able to see this, the date, time, as well as the swab site reflected on the dashboard. For making bulk appointments, so this is largely similar to scheduling individual appointment, just that instead of clicking the schedule an individual appointment function, you will check the boxes to the left of the screen. So for this example, the company has checked 5 employees, and you can see at the bottom is reflected accordingly as well. 5 persons to have a bulk appointment booked out of 20 per day quota for the company. So the next few steps are exactly the same. Choose the date as well as the site. You'll be prompted to confirm, and then same thing, the SMS will only be sent to those who have already been swabbed previously on site. For bulk appointment, once you have completed the scheduling, you'll receive an email stating the details as shown on screen. At the same time, there will also be an Excel attachment file that shows you all the employees that have been scheduled through the bulk appointment. All right, next slide. And then the same thing, when you go back to the dashboard, all the people who have been scheduled through bulk appointment, their details of their swap site as well as the date and time will be reflected on screen as well. Right, for auto scheduling of appointments, sorry, give us a minute while we go back to the correct slide. Right, for auto scheduling of appointments, for all your employees that have already gone for an appointment and on the dashboard you see attended, they will be automatically scheduled 14 days later for an appointment, meaning you do not have to manually schedule them for an appointment again. Okay, so for example, if a worker A was scheduled for an appointment on 27th, 14 days from 27, which is 10th August, hypothetically, the person will be scheduled for another appointment. All right, and if the person has already attended an appointment previously, they will receive an SMS message. Next slide, please. So same thing, for auto scheduling, a confirmation email will be sent out to the companies with an Excel attachment listing all the workers that have been scheduled. So this will apply even if you have individual appointments that have been booked in addition to the bulk appointment. So for example, a company that has 10 staff booked by bulk and then 2 other staff booked individually, all 12 staff will appear in the bulk appointment confirmation email for auto scheduling. All right. So same thing, you'll see all the details as well as the list of workers that has been rescheduled, automatically rescheduled. Cancelling of appointments. So after an appointment has been booked, to the right of the screen, you can see that there are 2 different functions, cancel or change appointment. So if you want to cancel, just click on the cancel appointment function. They will prompt you whether or not you want to cancel. You click yes, an SMS will be sent to the person telling them that their appointment on the date at the site has been cancelled. So the same logic applies, only if they are subsequent attendees, they will receive the SMS. First time attendees will not receive SMS. And then there will be a prompt to say that the appointment has been cancelled. And when you return to the dashboard, it will show as appointment cancelled, and you can schedule appointment again if you want to. Right. So for appointment cancellation, do take note that there is a T-2 logic, meaning you cannot cancel any appointment that's within 2 days. Okay, so for example, if you have somebody whom you have scheduled for appointment on the 15th July, you schedule it on the 10th. Sorry, you schedule for somebody on the 16th July on the 10th. When it comes to the 15th July, you decided to cancel, you cannot do so because 15th July is just 1 day before 16th July. So less than 2 days, you cannot cancel. So what happens if you have scheduled somebody and then last minute, 1 day before the person cannot go for the appointment? Simply let the person lapse, meaning don't attend the appointment, and then the following day it will be reflected as not attended, and then you can reschedule an appointment for that person. Next slide. Changing of appointment, same thing. Instead of clicking cancel, you just click change of appointment. And they will prompt you to select the alternative appointment date as well as site. Once they've chosen it, they'll prompt you to confirm, and once you do, go back to the dashboard, you'll be shown the new swap date as well as the swap site. So do take note, for such cases, the employee will receive 2 SMSs. The first one to inform them that the prior appointment has been cancelled, and then the second SMS will inform them of the new appointment date and site. So same thing as earlier example of cancellation, T-2 logic. So 1 day before, the appointment cannot be changed. Next slide, please. Right, you can also create new records for Singapore citizens or permanent residents within your company. So to the top right-hand corner, there's an Add New SG Citizen. When you can click on it, And once you do, you'll be shown the next screen, which you populate all the necessary fields and click Save. They will prompt you to confirm, and once you do, they will prompt you to say that stuff has been successfully created. And that person will appear on your dashboard. So if you try to add a new record of a SGPR in your database, they will prompt you to inform you that that person already exists and you cannot do so. And similarly, if you have somebody who has just joined you recently from a different company, and when you try to add it, but the name is still in the other company's records, then the system will prompt you to say that. And in such cases, you need to flag up to BCA so that they can help you make changes back in. Do remember that if you try to delete somebody on a particular day, you are unable to add that person back in case you have deleted it by accident. All right, so example, next slide. So for this particular company, they tried to delete, they deleted the employee on 29th July and tried to add them back, and then the system will prompt to say, you've only deleted the person today, you can only add this person back the next day. So do take note of that. So other than adding new records of Singaporeans and PRs, you can also update their particulars. So it's to the left of the screen, you can just click on their FIN or NRIC, and then update whichever field that needs to be updated and click Save. All right, just to highlight that if you ever need any technical support or help, you can click on the Need Help bubble at the bottom. They'll show you a list of BCA email address as well as WhatsApp numbers that you can send messages to clarify any doubts or issues that you may have. Last section will be troubleshooting. So if you did not receive any emails on with the login username and password, just check that you're using the email address that you submitted to BCA. Check your junk spam folders. If you cannot remember which particular email address was submitted, please check back with BCA as well. If you still cannot find the login email, check with your company IT team whether there's a filter that prevents the sending of emails from the SRS to your email account. So if there is and your IT team has removed the filter, go back to the login link and then click on forget password so that the system can generate a new password for you. Right, 3B. So if the company informs you that they do not have such a filter or they are unable to remove the filter, you will need to create a Gmail account for the purpose of accessing SRS. Once you've created that, please inform BCA so that they can update your email account. And then once it's done, you can try to log into a new Gmail address. Note that the password is case sensitive, yeah? So if it doesn't work, do click on the forget password whenever you have forgotten your password or you cannot remember which letters are uppercase and so on and so forth. So question 5, if you did not receive the OTP, please check with your sector lead because there may be some errors when your mobile number was updated in the system. So do check with BCA to ensure that it's the correct mobile number that's been entered. If you have tried to log in at question 6, and if you tried to log in a couple of times and then you've been logged out of the system, so please inform BCA so that they can unblock your account and you can try to log in again. Okay, question 7. There will be cases whereby some of your workers were in the system previously and then on another day they do not appear in the system, or they have an appointment scheduled and the appointment was cancelled without your knowing. So for such cases, please check whether they are under the following conditions. Whether they are COVID-19 positive workers, whether their work pass have expired, did they recently change their living arrangement, for example, from a cleared dorm to an uncleared dorm? Are they cases under SHN or QO? If they meet any of the above conditions, their names will be removed from the system. If they do not, please contact BCA for further assistance. So this is a list of swap sites that have been used for dorm as well as non-dorm workers. So in your selection of sites for your workers, please take note of this. We have had many cases of employers scheduling dorm workers at non-dorm sites and vice versa. So this is a very high public health risk because we are mixing different groups of workers of different risk level, and there's a high risk of cross-contamination. So please select the correct swap site for your respective groups of workers. And do take note that these sites are quite dynamic. They may change. We may increase more sites as time progresses, or we may replace certain sites. So don't be surprised if any of these sites disappear or there are new sites added up. So just select the sites as listed in SRS. All right, that's all for my sharing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eugene. So I'll just move on to some more frequently asked questions. So for example, my employee is already on the SRS. Do I still need to submit application to restart to BCA? Yes, your employee must be included in the application to restart. By booking appointments on the SRS, firms acknowledge that the employee had been included in the application to restart works. Does my employee need to go for swap, and what are the swap requirements? For swap requirements, please refer to this link. This deck of slides will be sent to all those who attended and those who had registered at the end of this webinar. So you can click on the link when you receive this deck of slides. This slide is actually a screenshot of the summary of the swap test requirements from the link previously. So whether your employee needs to go for swap or not depends on what activities they are doing, whether they are Singapore citizens, permanent residents, or employment pass holders, or S-Pass or work permit holders, and also whether they are residing in dormitories or non-dormitories. So, for example, if you have S-Pass and work permit holders who do not reside in dormitories, and they're only working in company corporate office premises, they do not require to go for the periodic swab test. If, let's say, your S-Pass or work permit holders residing in non-dormitories and are working at construction sites, they will need the periodic swab test. Okay, so you can refer to this table more in detail to determine whether your employee needs to go for the periodic swab test or not. So what employees are pre-populated on the system? As mentioned by Eugene earlier, the system is for all your employees, SC, PR, and foreign workers, the E-Pass, S-Pass, and work permit holders. For Singapore citizens and PR, you will be able to add or remove any SC, PR from the system. For foreign workers, only eligible foreign workers will be pre-populated by MOM's database. So eligible workers will include those with valid work permits. They are staying in the cleared dormitories such as purpose-built dorms, factory-converted dorms, construction temporary quarters, TOL land quarters, temporary living quarters, and decant sites. And all these dormitories must be COVID cleared and also with clean nominal roles. Also, for those staying in temporary living quarters with occupancy less than 7 pax, those who are living in non-dormitories such as HDB, private residential properties, commercial properties, and they are from the construction, marine, and processes sector. In addition, all currently active COVID cases and recovered individuals will be excluded from the SRS. Recovered individuals within 180 days of their recovered date will be excluded, after which you will need to arrange them for periodic swabbing. So in some cases, let's say 20 of your workers from a certain dormitory is on the SRS, but 2 of the workers staying in the same dorm are not on the SRS. What can you do? You can actually check and to ensure that the residential address is updated on MOM's database, the online foreign worker address system. For employees residing in the different types of dormitories, there are different nominal roles that you can check. For example, if they are in PBDs, make sure that the dormitory operator updates the name in the tenant management system, which syncs directly with MOM system. For non-purpose-built dorms such as CTQ, TOLQ, and FCD, you will need to update on Dorm Watch. And for TLQs, please ensure his or her name has been submitted by the dormitory operator to mom_dorm_nr at mom.gov.sg. So if your worker's dormitory is declared cleared on MOM website, but their names are still not on the SRS, what should you do? You actually have to work with your dormitory operator to confirm the nominal roles with MOM. Once this is confirmed, the workers from the dorms will be on the SRS. Usually this duration could take between 2 to 3 weeks. So if you can confirm with your dormitory operator the nominal roles earlier, their names will appear in a shorter duration after they are declared cleared. So when will my dorm be cleared? You can actually refer to MOM's website for the dormitory clearance schedule. So if the appointment SMS was sent to the wrong worker, where can you update his or her mobile number? Please make sure that the worker's contact has been updated in all of MOM's databases. After this has been updated, it could take between 2 to 3 days before the information from the different databases are passed onto the SRS system. So if your employee is residing in dorm, but shows up in SRS as non-dorm, how can you make the change? And which swap site should you send him to? So one of the reasons they may show up in dorm when they are actually residing in non-dorm is that the address in MOM's database had not been updated. So please check that you had updated the different databases and also work with the dorm operator to ensure that the address is correctly updated by the correct system. So for example, if your employee moves from dorm A to dorm B, make sure the dorm operator in B includes his name in the nominal role, as well as the dorm operator in A removes your employee's name from the original dormitory location. So if your employee is staying in a dorm, please select the dorm testing site. If it is in non-dorm, please select the non-dorm testing site. As Eugene had mentioned earlier, please do not mix these groups of people, as there are different risk levels, public health risk levels attached to each different testing sites. So if your employee did not receive SMS and the email booking confirmation was not sent to your junk or spam, what should you do? You can actually show a screenshot of the scheduled page on the SRS when you go down for the swab test. If your employee need not go for periodic swabbing but are on the SRS, how can you remove them? So if they are Singapore citizens or PR, you can manually remove them. But if your employee does not need periodic swabbing for the foreign workers, you do not need to schedule them for swab appointments.